The CEO of Shopify, a company worth over $50 billion, went to bed, let an AI agent run 120 experiments overnight, and woke up to a pull request that makes their template engine 53% faster. 0 lines of code written by a human, 93 commits, all from an autonomous agent. That story alone would be enough for today, but we've also got 3 major automakers deploying 3 different humanoid robot platforms in real factories right now. Not demos, not proofs of concept, actual production lines. Let's get into it. Shopify CEO Tobias Lütke, Tobi as most people know him, just personally submitted a pull request to Liquid, which is Shopify's open-source Ruby template engine. Tobi originally created Liquid back in 2005, loosely inspired by Django's template system, and it now powers millions of Shopify storefronts. The PR achieves 53% faster parse and render times and 61% fewer memory allocations. Those are massive numbers for a mature, heavily optimized codebase. How did he do it? He used a variant of Andrej Karpathy's auto research framework. For context, Karpathy, the former Tesla AI director and OpenAI researcher, open-sourced auto research on March 7th. It's a roughly 630-line Python tool that hands the tedious loop of experimentation to an AI agent. The agent edits code, runs a benchmark, checks if performance improved, keeps or discards the change, and repeats indefinitely. Karpathy himself left it running for 48 hours on a language model training task, churned through about 700 edits, kept around 20 that stacked together for an 11% speedup. Tobi took that same concept and pointed it at Liquid. He set up an auto research MD prompt file and an auto research.sh script so the agent could execute the test suite and report benchmark scores. He used an agent called Pi along with a new Pi auto research plugin he co-developed with David Cortez. The agent ran approximately 120 semi-autonomous experiments. Most changes were discarded, that's the point. The surviving optimizations stacked cleanly into 93 commits. This wasn't Tobi's first run with auto research either. Before the Liquid PR, he'd already used the framework overnight on an internal query expansion model. He went to sleep, the agent ran 37 experiments, and by morning it had delivered a 19% improvement in validation score on a 0.8 billion parameter model that now outperformed the 1.6 billion parameter model it was supposed to replace. This PR matters beyond the performance numbers because of who submitted it and how. The CEO of a $50 billion public company is not writing code by hand anymore. He's writing markdown files that tell an agent how to think about writing code. Karpathy has been pushing this framing. He coined vibe coding and later proposed agentic engineering as the term for orchestrating AI agents instead of writing code directly. Auto research takes that one step further. You define the objective, the agent iterates autonomously, and you review results. The workflow Tobi demonstrated is significant because it's not a toy example. Liquid is production infrastructure running millions of stores. The optimizations are real micro-level performance improvements discovered through brute force experimentation at a scale no human would have the patience for. 120 experiments to find the subset that stack cleanly. That's exactly the kind of tedious, high-value work that agents excel at. And the fact that this is built on an open-source, 600-line Python script from Karpathy proves you don't need proprietary enterprise tooling for this. Auto research is available to anyone with a GPU and a benchmark to optimize against. The barrier to running autonomous experiments has effectively dropped to 0. Watch for 2 things. First, whether Shopify institutionalizes this workflow beyond Tobi's personal experiments. He's already declared that reflexive AI usage is a baseline expectation at Shopify. Those are his exact words. Second, watch auto research adoption more broadly. If a CEO can get 53% performance gains on a 20-year-old codebase overnight, every engineering team with a benchmark suite should be asking why they're not running this. So AI agents are now autonomously optimizing production software while humans sleep. Meanwhile, a different kind of agent, one with a physical body, is showing up on actual factory floors, and not at one company or with one prototype. 3 major automakers are deploying 3 different humanoid robot platforms in real production environments right now. Let's start with BMW. At Plant Leipzig in Germany, BMW has deployed Hexagon Robotics' Aion humanoid robot, the first humanoid robot on a production line in Europe. Aion stands 1.65 meters tall, weighs 60 kilograms, and moves on wheels instead of feet, reaching 2.5 meters per second. It carries 22 sensors and can swap its own battery in 23 seconds, enabling around-the-clock operation. The deployment at Leipzig focuses on high-voltage battery assembly and component production, repetitive, physically demanding tasks requiring precision. The AI piece is the breakthrough. Aion uses imitation learning, and it only needs 20 demonstrations of a task to operate autonomously. 20, not thousands of hours of training data, not months of simulation. 20 demos. The robot made its operational debut at Leipzig in December 2025, with full productive deployment of 2 units expected by end of 2026. BMW chose Leipzig because it's their most technologically complete German plant, covering battery manufacturing, injection molding, press, body shop, and final assembly. So Aion gets tested across the full range of production environments in one location. Then there's Toyota. Toyota Motor Manufacturing Canada signed an agreement with Agility Robotics to deploy 7 of their Digit humanoid robots at a Canadian facility. This came after Digit crossed 100,000 totes moved at GXO Logistics during an extended pilot, proving the platform works at industrial scale. And third, Figure AI. Their Figure 02 robot supported production of more than 30,000 BMW X3 vehicles at BMW's Spartanburg plant in South Carolina over just 10 months. Figure 02 has now been retired as Figure moves to their third-generation platform, Figure 03, which is entering early commercial deployments with a production capacity target of 12,000 units per year. BMW and Figure are evaluating Figure 03 for potential new deployments. The important signal is not that humanoid robots exist in factories. We've seen demos for years. The signal is that 3 different vendors, Hexagon, Agility, and Figure AI, are all in production at major automakers simultaneously. That's market formation. When a single company ships a robot, it's a press release. When 3 companies ship competing products to 3 different customers, it's an industry. The technical details reinforce this. 20 demonstrations for autonomous operation via imitation learning means deployment time collapses. You don't need a team of robotics engineers spending months programming each task. You show the robot what to do 20 times and it generalizes. That changes the economics entirely. 100,000 totes moved at GXO means Digit isn't fragile. It operates at logistics scale. 30,000 BMW X3s built with Figure 02 assistance means these robots survive the demands of automotive production. The executive story at BMW is telling too. Milan Nedeljkovic, the board member leading BMW's robotics integration, has been named incoming CEO effective May 14, 2026. The person driving humanoid robot deployment is about to run the entire company. That tells you where BMW thinks manufacturing is headed. The number to watch is Figure AI's 12,000 unit annual production target. If they hit it, humanoid robots stop being custom deployments and start being catalog items. Also watch Hyundai. They've announced plans to purchase thousands of Boston Dynamics Atlas robots in the coming years, which would add a 4th major platform to the competitive landscape. By the end of 2026, we should have real productivity data from all 3 current deployments comparing humanoid performance against traditional automation. 12 months ago, autonomous agents optimizing production codebases and humanoid robots assembling cars at scale would have sounded like a 5-year prediction. Now it's a Tuesday. The speed at which these tools are moving from research to deployment keeps compressing, and the organizations paying attention are already integrating them into core operations. If you want to keep up with developments like these, subscribe. We cover AI and tech news daily. See you in the next one.